What up? What up? What up? What up? Let's get it. Let's change the lighting in here. What's going on? What's going on? What is going on? Do me a favor when you come in the chat, when you come in the channel, hit that like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. And let me know the city and state you're hailing from, your age, city, and state. Oh, look at the sad little haters. We got 5 dislikes already. Guys, go kill yourself. I mean, really. What's going on, Robert? You got 5 people that already disliked the stream. Well, the coronavirus for you. I mean, seriously, how much would your life have to suck? You've been blocked. They're like, I'm going to hit the dislike button, dumbass. That helps the stream. It helps the stream. It counts as engagement. Your haters are your biggest employees. So hit the dislike button again. Go to your troll accounts and hit the dislike button again, because you're going to love this stream. All right. Let's see. We want to improve the lighting in here. I kind of like this lighting. I'm liking this lighting. It's a little dim. Let's see. Let's see. That's with the light, without the light, with the light, without the light, with the light. Let's keep it on. Let's zoom in a little bit more. All right. In this time of pandemic and crisis and all this other stuff going on, here's what a lot of people are starting to recognize. Women in particular are starting to realize that, oh damn, I am without a man. I'm without a man. What do I do in these times? Because if it all went to pot, how can you really protect yourself, defend yourself? All right, you can't do anything about yesterday. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I'm going to tell you that there is a way, ladies, that if you are hating your situation, you're hating the fact that you have no husband, no significant other who claims you, who is willing to shelter in place with you right now. If you don't have a 200-pound male next to you, if you don't have a 6 foot 200-pound male next to you, well, 6 foot 4 200-pound male next to you, all right, okay. Or even 5 foot 10 180-pound man, if you don't have a man next to you that you can actually count on to help you make it through this shelter in place, this uncertain time, you can't fix it yesterday, but there is something that you can do going forward to ensure that this never happens again, to come out of this thing on the other side a changed woman. How many women do we have in the chat room that are single? How many women do we have in the chat room that are single? I'm gonna change the title of the stream to "Ladies Improve Your Image Immediately." How many ladies do we have in the chat room that are single? If you're a single woman, put a 1 in the chat room. Who? Oh, let me go ahead and help you. Am I trying to copy off of who? See, but I don't need to copy off anybody, but let me go ahead and help you. I don't think you know who you're talking to. And you can go ahead to the Silent Haters Bureau too. Bye. This is what I would tell you. This is what's going to happen in this time. You're going to see some of the when times people get pressed, you're going to see who they really are. And some of you guys are exactly where you need to be because of your attitudes. We're not going to deal with guys today. We're going to deal with women. We're going to deal with women. So here we go. Got one woman, two women. Well, it's not that I mean, honestly, they did not need a man when things are going right, but we can't deal with that. Can't deal with that. And the problem is the overall image of women in the West is equal and independent. So I'm not going to break this down to a racial thing. The overall image of women in the West are equal and independent. And over the last 30 plus years, I was raised in a different generation where we saw men and women who had gender roles. But over the last 30 years, equality has become the norm, to where honestly, there are young men today who think it's offensive to treat women as though they are the weaker vessel. There are men who think honestly that it is appropriate to say, no, we should do 50-50. No, it's wrong to treat them any differently. So here's what, hope I'm not, nope, too late, y'all. Here's what I need you guys to understand. That is the overall image of women in the West. You as an individual woman cannot change 30 to 40 to 50 years of equality and this and that, and you shouldn't want to. Like it or not, there are some good things that came out of the women's lib movement. There are some good things that came out of, feminist ideals. Some. Nothing is completely bad. You've heard the old adage, even a broke clock is right twice a day. So the question is, how do you improve the image of women? And the first woman you got to deal with is start with yourself. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. And there's one thing that you can do as a woman, as a lady, to actually improve your image with the kind of men you say you want to have in your life. One thing, one word actually. And that one word is yes. Start saying yes to everything. Start saying yes to everything. Connie says she need her man. Understand, start saying yes. Guys, I need the guys in the chat room to hit me, to holler back. How many times have you had a great idea, something you wanted to do for your lady friend, a woman you're interested in, and you were like, we're gonna go do this, and then she said no. You had it all planned out and she just said no. She wants you to be in charge. She wants you to stand up, but then she says no. What does that do for the situation? Guy was all excited, ready to start doing stuff with you so y'all can bond and learn and grow together, and you say no. See, ladies, that was the wrong thing to say. Say yes. Say yes to everything. Want to go try sushi? Yes. You want to try escargot, snails? Yes. You want to go rock climbing? Yes. We're going to wine and palette. Yes. Say yes to everything that won't kill you or it crosses your moral line. If it crosses your moral line, you can say no. But if it won't kill you, say yes. If you're in a relationship with a man and you're having sex, it applies there too. You ladies need to become more agreeable with men. Just say yes. Your default position needs to be yes. To where your man can come up to you, or a man can come up to you and say, hey, let's go grab coffee real quick. Yes. How much? Because saying no is not helping you out. And going back and forth and having to having a quorum for a decision isn't helping either. Say yes. So ladies, let me ask you. Let me ask the ladies. A lot of women take saying yes as being too submissive. Okay, here's what I want to hear from the ladies. I want to hear from the ladies how saying yes is the bad thing, how it hurts you. Join the conversation. What's the problem with saying yes? Join the conversation. Ladies, I want to hear, well, I want to actually hear from everybody. Join the conversation. Let's talk about it. How does saying yes change how does saying yes change your world? See, when I do my shows, I go back and listen to my shows, and a couple of shows I've done, I'm gonna go back and break down the business shows for the guys. But see, guys, I need you guys to understand something too. There's also a say yes for the men component, but it's completely different. Maybe not, but ask too many questions. Maybe not, no. Okay, join the conversation because it's too hard to read the chat room. And I really want to hear, why don't you ladies just say yes off the rip? Why do you say no? Why does it have to be a discussion all the time? Why do we need your input? Why do we need to have a democracy? Why not just a benevolent dictatorship? And this is not, and here's the thing, ladies, I'm not just talking about to your man. I'm talking about to guys, period. Guy comes up and wants to talk to you, talk to him. Give him 2 or 3 minutes. Just don't be rude to him. You want to go grab a quick drink? Sure. Like to grab you're in line at Starbucks, he wants to talk. Because obviously, whatever you're doing has not yielded the results. If the result is you want to be in a marriage or a committed relationship, if you want to have people to count on. See, here's another thing, this whole protection piece. And let's go back to one Miss April Mason, who was so upset that her non-dating male friends didn't call to check up on her. Well, I got a question I'd ask her. How often did you say yes when they asked you for something? Hey, April, I have an event I want to go to. I need a +1. Did you say yes? Even though you're not dating him, he's your friend. He wants to go to the mayor's ball. You're not going. Your man didn't invite you, but he needs to go and have a +1. Did you say yes? Say yes to +1s, ladies. Even to guys you are not physically or romantically attracted to. But if you call him your friend, say yes. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Robert, did you hear what I just said? See, you want men who you're not sleeping with to be there for you. You need to be there for them. Say yes. Tell me, ladies, what's wrong with a guy that you call your friend, calling you up saying, hey, I got a Chamber of Commerce function I'm going to. I'm being honored at a banquet. I need a +1. I'd like to take you with me. Say yes. Put on your blessed little black dress and go be a friend. Go there with a smile on your face. Be a good person. Be nice to him. Be nice to the people around. Give him the little side hug on the way out. What does that cost you? You get to go to an event with somebody you already say that he's a friend or an associate. You get to help out a friend. You get to network. You get to mingle. You get to eat. You get to drink. Come on. The more you say no, thank you. Smooth to smooth. Comment of the day. What's going on, Naima? The more you say no, the less invites you get. Let me go ahead and simplify it. The more you say no, the less you get. Shout out to Smooth to Smooth. Everybody give Smooth to Smooth a high five. The more you say no, the less you get. All you gotta do is say yes. Let me change this to make it a more provocative topic. Good women say yes. Good women say yes. often. Good women say yes often. What is a good woman? Well, a good woman is a good woman as a woman who's your friend. I mean, every lady, women, let's understand. You don't have a husband. You don't have a boyfriend. And first off, you don't have a husband. Let's call it you don't have a man. Boyfriend is the term you probably should stop using back in high school. You don't have a committed monogamous relationship. Shout out to what's the old girl that gets a lot of grief over on this side of YouTube, Michaela Pink. Um, I saw one of her videos one time, and she was talking to her women saying that too. It's like, y'all better learn how to be nice and say yes to these men. I mean, I don't look. You can dog Shira Seven and Michaela Pink. I do not approve their messages, but I will tell you, she made some good. In that, she made a good point. She's like, look, I went out to a business dinner with a bunch of guys, and I played the little coy girl role, and da da da, and I was nice and this, and I said yes. And when you say, and when a woman says yes, even men you aren't kicking it with, they'll step into their male role. See, and here's another thing. Oh man, these guys are simps, and don't worry about that. If it ain't you, don't worry about it. Here's the thing. I don't care if a guy wants to spend his money on a woman for just her time. Let me put this out here real clear. Over on the manosphere side, this is a very, very different segment, but it is a tiny segment of the world. There are plenty of men out there who are more than happy to be a sugar daddy, a mentor, or whatever, to take their money, invite a beautiful woman to Ruth Chris, The Palm, Foco de Chao, and sit there and share a meal with her and know they are not getting anything but a side hug. And that is all. If they were to get more, they would accept it, but they don't expect any more, and they are happy to do it. And you can call them simp and lame or whatever, but it ain't your, don't worry about what they're doing. Are they happy? Did they have a good time with that woman? Then that was good. That was a good decision. See, far too often we sit around and talk about men that we don't understand. And I'm gonna tell you, dude, men with money don't think like middle class guys. See, it's one thing when you're making $50,000 a year and going to Foco de Chao, $150 or $200 dinner. That hits your pockets when you're making $35,000 a year. When you got money, $200 is lunch. Hey man, real talk. Let's talk about it. See, understand something. This dude just came in here. And I'm gonna call you out on it. Sick lid. First of all, Bill Gates, simp. Warren Buffett, simp. I may ask you something, dude. How can men who are better than you? How can you call a man who's better than you anything? He can call you a pauper. See, you'll be pissed off if Bill Gates came and called you all kind of shit because I don't understand something with some of you guys, man. You talking to men who are billionaires, and you down over here. You got to. That is fascinating to me. That is fascinating to me that you got guys over here who drive a bus for a living talking about Warren Buffett, calling him a simp. What does that get you, man? What does that get any of you? See, what I think I've shown a lot when I talk to guys is a lot of times as men, we spend so much time with shit that really does not affect us in our day-to-day lives. And you're just talking shit. But if you want to talk shit, talk shit. Me broke talk shit all day long. But anyway, ladies, say yes. Don't say yes to guys like that, though. I'm going to be honest. Guys like that do not get yes said to them. Let me tell you the guys that don't get yes said. The guys who do not hear the word yes are guys who walk around thinking scarcity mindset, thinking the world is everybody's trying to get over on you, thinking everybody's trying to get something from you. And you got to ask yourself, how much do you have And why should somebody want to try to get her over on you? Nobody's trying to hustle the average walk-a-day guy. But anyway, back to the ladies. Ladies, say yes. And I need to clear it up. Who do you say yes to? The guys who have an offer. If a guy wants to take you out to dinner, say yes. Even in that whole dinner whore article thing that Obsidian was talking about. I'm talking about 1/3 of women admit going out to dinner with a man that they had no romantic interest in. The only problem I have with that is that they lied, or if they lied or played in the gray area or left the impression or led the guy on thinking that they did have an interest in him. If they deceived the guy, then that's a problem. But if a man asks a woman out to dinner and he knows she's not interested and she does not lead him on saying, yeah, take me out to this restaurant, and if you try a little harder, you might. No, I don't got no problem with a man saying, hey, I got money, you're beautiful. I want feminine companionship, you want masculine companionship. I don't want to eat by myself, let's go. Do it. Say yes. The mind is the most valuable asset. She will follow that. Okay. I don't know what that's supposed to. A lot of them do that in all seriousness. Who are you and how do you have a wrench? I need to know who you are. Did you change your name? Who are you? What's your name? Cry now, laugh later. Did you change your name? Somebody, I changed my name. I need to know who you are. Could you email me and let me know who you are? Because I see somebody with a wrench on my channel that does. Can you give me the initials or something? Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah. Okay. There you go. What does CIA mean? CIA means confident, intelligent, and assertive. See, let me say something right now. And I was a part of this problem. People in the interior of the United States, we don't know how to date. When I moved to New York City is the first time I learned actually how to date. You go out with somebody 3 times in the South or the Midwest and you're in a relationship. That was our culture. But when I moved to Manhattan, was the first time I could actually talk to somebody, meet them, interact with them, not speak to them for weeks, call them up and say, hey, there's a new Broadway play opening up. Hey, there's a new restaurant. There's a new this. Hey, I want to go. I want to go here on Wednesday. Make a date on a Tuesday for Friday, or make a date on a Tuesday for next Friday. You go, you spend your 2 to 4 hours, and you leave each other and you don't talk until the next time you're setting a date. That's dating. You set a date, you go do the date, and you leave. You don't have to have all this communication back and forth if you're just dating. Come to my channel, acting silly. You're gonna get. Let me go ahead and help you out. What's going on, Robert? Good women say yes often. Good women say yes often. What's the upside to saying no when you ain't got nothing else to do? See, the reason so many women say no today is because you feel like the grass is greener on the other side. I'm going to say no to this on the off chance I can say yes to a better deal. Well, that's not a good person in my opinion. If you call yourself being a friend or an associate with somebody, and you know good and damn well you would like for them to say yes to you, you better say yes to him. Let me say that again. If you call yourself a friend or an associate of a man, and you know good and damn well that you would want him to say yes to you, you better say yes to him. I ain't saying you got, and even if you, and this counts with strangers too. If a guy walks up to you, introduces himself, and y'all strike it out and have a conversation, he asks you, "Hey, let's go grab a drink on Wednesday night." Say yes. Take a shot. Go. What's the worst that could happen? You could add to your network. See, every time a man approaches you, you don't have to just, well, what if I'm not physically attracted to him? I don't give a shit. You're not supposed to be physically attracted to a man. You're supposed to be looking at a man's character, and you cannot determine character in the first 7 seconds. You cannot determine character really in the first 10 minutes. You got to sit down and talk to somebody. This is why so many of you ladies today are not getting what you want from men, because you're judging men based upon solely how they look. That is not how women are supposed to decide what men they have around them. What's going on, Robert?
What's going on, brother?
What you got for us?
Like I said, what I got for you is this. I'm gonna stay on your topic, but I was just like with you, with those guys talk about that simp. But ladies, you got to say yes. A lot of y'all are not having any opportunities in your life. You're not progressing. You're not going anywhere. You're not growing, because you're saying no. You got to learn how to open up your mouth and say yes. If you want to have some new experiences in life, you want to see new things, you're going to have to say yes. And one of the main problems why a lot of you women like to say no, you didn't say yes to many bomb dudes. Let's just be honest. These dudes that's talking about simping, these are the dudes that you have said yes to. They can't show you nothing new. They can't take you rock climbing. They can't take you to the mayor's ball. They can't take you to the National Civil Rights Museum Freedom Awards. They can't take you to places where you can network and do this, that, and another. You done said yes to those dudes. Let's just be honest. If you want to have a better life, it's our mantra, CIA. You're going to have to, only way you're going to know you dealing with a CIA man, you're going to have a conversation with him.
There you go.
And a lot of you ladies don't want to have conversation because you have dealt with too many of these broke, no plan, no future type of guys. Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, one thing that you often talk about when you're talking on Facebook is you got to have a conversation with a man. Women oftentimes sit back, they say they got a relationship. Before you have a relationship, there has to be a conversation had. A man got to tell you what he is. You can't determine that inside the first 5 minutes of meeting him.
That's it. You can't, if you're not going to hold, like you said, character. You got to see the character of the man. You got to talk to the man. And the only way you're going to talk to the man is you're going to have to say yes to the man. That's the reality of it, ladies. Y'all, a lot of y'all look, you want the guys that can show you a new world, show you new things. Ladies, y'all gonna have to up it a little bit. Y'all gonna have to come up out of this wilderness y'all in. This I can't say no because it look like I'm being submissive. I'm saying yes to everything. Ladies, most of y'all are flogging and fronting. Y'all ain't experiencing nothing but heartache and disappointment. Learn how to say yes so you can experience something. That's just the problem. And really, to be honest with you, Kevin, I know some ladies might get mad at me for saying this.
Go ahead.
To be honest with you, guys like me and you intimidate women. I hate to say that, but ladies get mad. Yes, we do. We intimidate you. Because the reality is, ladies, we have options. You see what I'm saying? We don't have to sit alone at home. We have those plus ones. And yes, some of them are not friends all the time. We have a lot of ladies want to be the plus ones. So you feel like you in competition. In actuality, you are in competition.
Yes.
Because like we say, Yeah, y'all love to say the woman is a gift. You better understand the man is a gift also. You better understand that a man is a gift also, ladies. So a lot of y'all sitting around, the reason why you are single and by yourself, nothing wrong with being single by yourself, but let's stop lying.
Oh, hold on. I'm out. Fuck that. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I don't know. This is my opinion. I'm not going to put this on Brother Robert.
Go ahead, brother.
But we have gotten too okay with letting our women, in particular our sisters, feel like there ain't nothing wrong with being single. Yeah, it is. And you seeing it right goddamn now. You're 40, you ain't got no friends, you ain't got no man, you ain't got no family. You are not capable of surviving on your own as a female in this world. You're not built for it. We are supposed to be coupled up. That's how we're made. And when the society's broken down, women are starting to feel what nature has been telling you. Yeah, there is something wrong with being single, when, especially in your later years, not in your earlier years. So what does that ultimately mean, Robert? That means you're going to have to pick. You're going to have to settle. Just like I was telling the guys the other day, you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a fireman, an astronaut, an architect? Motherfucker, when we was growing up, you had to pick. You either went to college, the military, or a job. You only had 3 options. And you were thankful that it was that simple. You got to pick. And see, so many guys today don't want to pick because they're like, well, if I pick this, then this may be over there. No, motherfucker, you got to pick. That means you too, ladies, because guess what? I guarantee you'd be so much happier. Even if you had that 80% dude in your house right now that you are hunkered down, sheltering in place, than 100% of a goddamn zero. I said it.
Yes, sir. I can't do nothing but agree with you on that. Like I said, we got this mindset now, this solo mindset. Ladies, it don't work. How's it working for y'all? You sitting around, especially our sisters. You sitting around talking about your college degrees. You're talking about your positions and this, that, another. I remember your other show that you did. Where's your Fortune 500 company at? Where's your Fortune 1000 company? But you got all these degrees, but you telling me that you can't find me in that meeting or that seminar. You tell me that we don't exist. Here I am. My brother's right there in Atlanta, walk around all day long. But you say that you can't find him. No, ladies, you are intimidated by men like us. Because we know where we're going. We have a plan. We are going to stay on our plan. We have a vision. We have a purpose. If you want to get on board, you're going to have to say yes to what we're trying to do and where we're trying to go. If you say no, get off. Bye.
There you
Leave
go.
you right where you sit. Go ahead, Kevin.
All right, man. So ladies, go ahead and get on the platform, because I want to hear from the ladies.
Me too.
And the thing is, I'm gonna put you back down in the waiting room, because oftentimes women are kind of afraid to get on the panel, especially when they got 2 opinionated men on here.
Okay, brother.
Yeah, let me put you down, but I'm gonna still come. You go ahead and drop out, but you're still welcome to come back, because I really want to have a conversation with them. Peace out. See, what I need you ladies to understand is you don't have to like the words I'm saying. I accept it. You don't even have to like the way I'm putting it. I'll accept that too. But what you cannot do is you cannot sit back and say the reality of your life right now. The reality of your situation right now is are you safe and secure in sheltering in place? What do you have? Pick the words that work best for you, because oftentimes we want to kill the messenger. Well, I don't like the way you said it. All right, but look, folks was married at an 80% rate back in the days of massive segregation, Jim Crow, and all that. The older generations, when they had less technology and less stuff, less options, they led happier lives. We got more stuff, more options, and happiness is at an all-time low. Leaf, I cannot hear you. I'm going to need you to unmute yourself. And we have gotten to the point to where we keep telling folks it ain't nothing wrong with being you can be single. Ain't nothing wrong with being single. No, no, no. See, I grew up Baptist. Then I grew up Church of God in Christ. They would preach the Old Testament, fire, brimstone, consequences, revelations. And we've gotten away from that. And we got the prosperity gospel of the world. We don't want to make any judgments. Well, no. We're doing ladies a disservice by telling them it's cool to be single at 50. No, it's not. I'm gonna tell you the look in so many of people I call friends and associates when I was at the mall and I saw so many of these nice women. The sheer look of terror in their eyes when Neiman Marcus and the mall said, we're shutting down for the next 2 weeks, possibly even longer. They looked like they had just got a diagnosis of stage 4 cancer because those women knew they had no money, no man at home, no family. They were living paycheck to paycheck. Some of the women were going to get paid. A larger percentage of the women were not getting paid. They had no options. They had to leave. In their entire life, they interacted with people at the. Think about a woman who works in their 40s who works at the mall. That's where they're getting all their social interaction with their coworkers and people coming through the mall. Now you're just sitting at the house and your money's running out. Tell me it's nothing wrong. Okay, Leaf, I cannot hear you. DJ Nap. Let's get the donations up, folks. Let's get the donations up because I'm not trying to insult women. I'm not trying to, what I'm really trying to get women to do is realize that now is a time to when this passes, if you go into your life with an attitude of saying yes, yes, yes opens up options. Yes equals potential. No, that ends the conversation. People are a resource. Money and all that other stuff, that comes downstream. People is what it's about. DJ Neff, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, brother? Give me a second. I'm trying to put these headphones.
I can barely hear you. You got to speak up.
Check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No, not really.
Still
Are you on Bluetooth?
now I'm on my laptop.
There you go. Stay right there. Go ahead. All right.
Check.
There we go. Patrick Lattimore. Shout out to Big Patrick. Haven't had a chance to catch it live until now. But there we go. Go ahead, DJ now.
Yeah, my bad, man.
Go ahead, man. We'll figure it out, you know.
Yeah, hey, Zoom don't give you a chance to get your mic stuff straight, man, like a StreamYard does. It throws you right in there. So I was trying to, get my stuff together. But
yeah, but here's the thing with StreamYards, man. StreamYards is jank. Sometimes a guest can't hear a guest. Yeah. Zoom requires what Zoom is going to require is a little bit of a learning curve for the people who run panels,
right.
But it is far superior, especially as we start to get on. So, but now you got it.
Yeah. I'm down here in my little studio set up, man. So shout out to you, Uncle Kev, man. I'm checking out the content, and it's always a great conversation. I've been going back and forth with Naima in here. We both in the DMV. It's a lot of DMV folk in here, man. So I think this is ideal for this particular conversation.
Right, Naima, Miss Buckner.
Yeah.
Lips, Hot Lips Houlihan. There was a show called MASH. One of the women, Loretta Swit, played a character called Margaret Houlihan. They called her Hot Lips.
Hot Lips.
Naima, you are now Hot Lips. Everybody type Hot Lips in the chat room for Naima. Naima Buckner is now Hot Lips. Can't call her Hot Lips Houlihan, but she's Hot Lips.
Hey, St. K, I got a question for you though. Considering I had this conversation probably sometime last year around holiday season, and it was from a young lady, and she presented a very profound point. Considering the DMV, the same as where I understand that you're now in ATL, there's a high concentration of highly educated, highly successful, and highly attractive people in the DMV area. So the way she presented it was that has a lot to do with the choices that people make. There's always going to be somebody that's more attractive. There's always going to be somebody taller. There's going to always be somebody that makes more money. So I was like, wow, that was mind blowing. Like I grew up in like Norfolk, Virginia Beach area, right? And I've been up here for after my military stint, probably about 10, 11 years. And I'm pretty decent looking dude. Like I don't complain about women or nothing like that, but I do see that, okay, if I'm hanging out with my homeboys and they 6'2", 6'3", and they just as attractive as me.
So what's the ultimate question though?
The ultimate question is, do you think that actually has an effect on people's decision making based
Yeah,
on
it skews first off, yes, here's what it does. It skews their actual potential. See, back in the day, you had to pick from the people in your neighborhood or your city. Most people lived and died inside of 10 miles. Now we're a much more mobile world. But here's the thing. We're wasting time.
Right.
We're wasting time always looking for the bigger nigga or the grass is greener on the other side. Well, so this guy's gonna be a little bit taller. Well, his eyelash is gonna look a little bit better. There's always gonna be something. Then you look up and you're 35 years old and all your options have passed. Look, there's always going to be somebody more attractive. You're going to have to pick and make a decision. Just like I talked to the guys yesterday about a job. Look, I was in sales. There were all kinds of things I wanted to do, but you can't get anywhere if you're continually changing, flipping, flopping, and dabbling. You got to pick. And see, ultimately, when you hear a woman say, well, there's always going to be somebody better. Yeah, but can you get them and keep them? That's the real question. They're going to be better, but can you get them and keep them? I'll give you an example. My ex-wife, gorgeous. I mean, for me, she did it. And we had this conversation once upon a time. I was like, yeah, for everything you bring to the table as far as looks, name me another man who whipped out a 2-carat ring with cut clarity and quality and got on one knee and asked you to marry him. Cricket as quiet. That's what matters. As fine as your friend may have been, ask her who actually pulled out a substantial diamond, dropped down to one knee and said, be mine for a lifetime.
Something else
I guarantee you the pool shrank like that.
Yeah, it does get quiet. But from what I've noticed too, a lot of them, and I'm in my later 30s, they're like early to mid, well, I'll say early to late 30s, because I think the youngest one is like 32 now. But they're starting to see that, right? That reality is kicking in, like, whoa, hold on. But they were all focused on career, dating, brunch, happy hour. But now it's like, wait a minute.
They were focused on, okay, Len, we talk about career. Let's be honest. Yeah. Were any of these people really on a strong career path, or did they just have corporate jobs?
And I seen those videos too, where you talk about it. These aren't CEOs, CFOs, they're mid-level management. But I don't be wanting to call them out like that, huh? I don't be wanting to call them out like that. Like,
well, okay. Well, see, the thing is, direct them to this show. Because it's going to be hard for you to call them out in that environment, especially in the DMV area, because they feel powerful. But right now, I guarantee you, all those, they feeling pretty goddamn vulnerable right now.
Yeah.
Because the reality is this: if they're in their mid 30s, I've said it before. I think many women should go to college to find a husband. Because you're not going to find a career, not something where you're going to be competitive with men. We're not going to just let you beat us. You're going to have to beat us.
Right.
Honestly, between the age of 18 and 27 are women's marrying in fertile years. This is why so many of our non-Black counterparts, right after college, that was like a wedding. When I was in corporate America in my 20s, white women were going to weddings all the time back and forth because they was all getting married. You had women at 25, like, I'm getting old. I'm an old maid. All my friends are married at 21, 22. And then you got this happening with, like you say, with Black women. It's happening far too late. They're 10 years too late. You cannot get that back. So here's what I would tell your friends. Get over the Harlequin romance. Romantic love, soulmate, and all that shit. You don't get that at 35. You're going to have to make a business decision. You're going to have to make a deal. You're going to have to realize at best, you are 80% of what somebody wants, and at best, you're going to get 80%. Stop making a decision based upon his jawline, his dick size, and all this other kind of stuff. Start making a decision on, will this man change my Depends when I shit myself? Will he give me my insulin shot? Will he help me keep up with my meds? If I fall, will he pick me up? And will I do the same for him? He is going to have the right to pull the plug on me should something happen. And conversely, is he going to be able to deal with the crust of my life, not the sexy having sex on the kitchen table? Eventually, there will be children, bills, and life is not supposed to be exciting. Normal life is boring as fuck. And we want scandal. I want dangerous, this, that. No, you want consistent, stable, structured neighborhood.
That's real. That's real.
And honestly, a lot of these women are looking for that now, but here's the problem. Who are they looking for it from? The men who have what they have, DJ Neff, if your friends are in the DMV, they're educated in their middle management, they are having to look for a man that has at least what they have or more. That means they're looking for men around my age or higher. Yeah. And then you got to ask the question, why would a man in his 50s who has options take a woman in her 30s when he can have a woman who's 25?
True. And that's if he's single, because I do know brothers your age that are they in shape, they look good, but they cheating.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
And I'm like, bro, that's me right there. What are you doing? You got one at home. You taking out of my pocket, brother. Like, what's
understand there. Even if every black man got married, there'll still be 2 million more women. Yeah. Unfortunately, with men with options and power, there have always been side chicks and mistresses.
Yeah. Okay.
And see, that's the reality. So, how old are you?
I'm 37. I'm
37.
38 this year. Yeah. 37.
All right, boy. You need to be starting at 23. 23. Hot lips.
Oh, there she go.
Kevin, DJ Neff.
What's up, love?
What's going on? You got the green screen going on back there. Did you intend to have the green screen option going on?
I don't know how to change. I don't know what to do.
Okay. Let me do this. Let me stop your video and I'll just keep I got your picture up.
Okay.
All right. What's going on, Hot Lips?
Hey, Kevin.
That's too funny.
Have I told any lies though? Am I wrong somewhere? Tell me where I'm fucking up.
No, Kevin, I can't. There's no pushback from me, Kevin.
I mean, so
no I'm sorry. There's no lies detected. Everything you're saying is spot on. You get no argument from me.
So what's it going to take to start getting more women to start saying yes off the rip?
So from my perspective, I just believe that women are not informed. Their mothers didn't teach them. The mothers of their mothers wasn't taught. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just something in Black culture that we don't pass down. We don't have those conversations with each other. We just don't do it. And if you would ask people and poll them, you would find that they would say, my mama didn't tell me this, or my daddy didn't tell me this, or for men and women alike, we just don't pass down this information to each other. It's like I'm being honest, Kevin, we're learning this at an older age.
So let me ask you this: at what age? Because I have to tell the dudes, man, at 18 to 23, I give you a pass, but by 23, I got to have you start taking responsibility. At what age? If I grant the argument that people weren't taught, at what age are women supposed to sit back and say, okay, well, it's my responsibility to go learn and stop waiting to be taught? See, that's the real question, I think, because putting it back on the ladies to say, yeah, you didn't get it, or you got as best as they could give you, but if it's not sufficient, it's still affecting your life.
Yeah, I get that. So you're giving a message, right? So there's older folks that, okay, will get it, and maybe apply it, or a lot of people stuck in their ways, they won't apply it. But you do have a lot of folks that's here that's listening to you because they're not getting it from their parents. So you're giving them this information that's very important to their life.
Okay.
So you're giving them that message for younger folks who can and can impact the change now as a young person.
All right. You know, that's why, and I didn't get a chance to do it yesterday, but on Wednesdays, I want to have women talking to women. I'll be engaging in the process, but I firmly believe that it's easier for women to hear coming from other women than for it to come from me or other guys. Because some of this stuff is triggering. A lot of it's triggering. And if Hot Lips was saying it, or if Roxy was saying it, or a Fitness Mom, or other women were saying it, I think it would be a little bit easier to sit back and say,
Yeah, I get
maybe.
pushbacks. I've tried to share some of your videos and some of the other brothers' videos, and depending on how much they listen to or what part they listen to, they like, oh, you hate women. Like,
Uh-huh.
nah, it ain't nothing like that. But listen to what he's talking about. Like, it's yeah, it's difficult. So I agree with you on that.
That's why I say Women's Wednesday. I want, you know what? Because I'm in. Well, I used to be on the yard, the sorority meetings on Sundays. Everybody would go to the offsite, and they all would have their sorority meetings, and it would be amazing how much information these ladies would share with each other in the Delta room, the AKA room, the Sigma Gamma Rho room, the Zeta room. So Women's Wednesday is really a place for women to kind of come and to talk to one another in a male space, to where I can throw some harder questions out and then just let them kind of work through it themselves. What's going on, Sugar P?
Hi.
You're in H-Town now, right?
I am in H-Town.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So where am I off at on this thing? Where am I wrong? What did I miss?
On women should say yes more. I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I mean, you know how I came in. I didn't start learning things till maybe I was like 26 when I started. And I was in the activism and the feminist movement. And then I just saw how, moving to DC and how that kind of lifestyle plays out for women and in the Black community. And I just and I don't think, and unfortunately with our culture, I feel like with us women, we're far behind. Maybe Gen Z will probably get it quick. I'm a millennial. They'll probably, and I'm 27. Well, I'll be 27 in July. So they'll probably get it. They have way more access to this information now. But I feel like I took it upon myself to learn more at like 26. I don't expect a lot of women with the whole activism and thing that's really big right now to catch up till maybe late, but I hope they will catch up kind of early, and hopefully we learn how to strategize like women. I told my family that like white women, they're all about strategy, and they're very cutthroat about creating that legacy, and that's protecting themselves down the line.
So let me ask you, so you were in the DMV. I'm assuming everybody on here is in that area, or at least have been there. And what I know about the DMV area, it's a nexus for political power, but it's also a place to where I think that so many of our sisters can actually do exactly what you said. Get so busy with life, so busy with career, so busy with this, that they're missing that the fact that they're not their other female counterparts, they're coupling up, they're getting married, they're making strategic moves. And like it or not, even as jacked up as the family court system, the environment, the Me Too, all this stuff, I still 80% of my clients, Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Middle Eastern, or other, still want to get married. But these men are trying to become power players and movers, and they understand that family is the key part to building a long-time power structure, power base. Being a single individual actor out here, you just can't get a whole lot done. So when you say that white women move strategically, they go to college to get that MRS degree. They're going to try to attach names and work in long term. Can you speak to either that or the difference between how other folks look at long-term dating and stuff versus this short-term attraction hookup stuff? Pick either one of those and go with it.
I would say, especially my generation, and maybe it's not even my generation, there is just this serial monogamy, serial dating, casual dating thing going on. People are not being really strategic about their options. And maybe that could be both men and women, but I see that, with women speaking on behalf of women, I don't think we're very strategic. I have family members that tell me, oh, you shouldn't focus on those things. You should focus on yourself, your life. and your job, staying, you know, I had friends when I was dating in DC, my friends knew me. I would always go on dates. Oh, that's too much, you know. And so I have a lot of friends that just stay in the house and they expect their
Were any of these
Mr. Right to
women
come.
married telling you that you should stop doing this stuff?
No. Or Jesus is their husband. So it
Right.
just goes like that.
Oh,
And so,
wow.
and if you see white women, and it's like, I'm not even trying to, and some people might be like, oh, that's being racist. It's just not white women. It's their culture. They're just
It's
very
not just white
strategic.
women.
You in DC, I mean, and even in college, they were getting married. A lot of the white people, women I knew, they get married really quickly. They introduce their friend, they bring their single friends to stuff. You know, when I moved here, I was like, I'm going to start making friends with white women. I'm going to start having friends who are married and things like, it's putting yourself in those certain situations to literally change your mindset. And I think that's, a lot of us are single. We're hanging out with these single friends, only going to girl nights and things like that.
Hey.
Only girl nights and going out only with your girls. And so, yeah, I feel like that casual short-term dating thing, people are obsessed with the next best thing. And
hold on. I'm changing the name of the string just because Sugar P.
Right. Yeah.
Jesus is their husband?
Jesus is their
Holy
husband.
shit,
Hey, let me
man.
throw this in there real quick because I've done
Damn.
a lot of Asian weddings too. So you know what I'm saying? It's definitely not just white women. I'm like, dang. And I'm talking about, there was a year, I think I did like 10 weddings or something at the same spot. They knew me because I was the only brother, the tallest brother doing these Asian weddings. But I mean, they were just consistent with it. Like they had a plan. They knew, hey, all right, after this, then this is what it is. Like within that window.
Let me say this, that, you know, Jesus is their husband. That's a good one. But that's the point, being being strategic. And see, when it's funny when I was starting in corporate America, white women were starting to feel the pressure. If they was 25 and not married, they were talking about there was old maids. And black women in the office are like, what the hell are they talking about? But you flash forward 15 years, and these women still married. Most of them still married. Even the ones that are divorced, remarried. And these other women are still single, but they didn't have kids. And who's struggling? A lot of these women end up being married, but they leave corporate America and their husbands are the VP, but the sisters are still working maybe one level up. Let me answer a question in the chat room. Every time you hear a message, take the message. Stop trying to crucify the messenger. That's what it really comes down to. Take the message, stop trying to crucify the messenger. And whether we like to admit it or not, Asian women tend to be the most, I won't say most sought after, but that
they don't play.
they've learned that. I mean, but here's the thing: if you got white men going after Asian women, look, they don't have big old booties, big old boobs, big old anything. What are they really known for in a relationship scenario? Being more traditional, be more cooperative and submissive. Saying yes. I mean, I've often talked about my ex in New York. She was Korean and Japanese. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to go into that right now. But I think it's crazy that what you're saying, a lot of the women in your family were telling you to stop saying yes, stop dating, stop putting yourself out there. And they can't tell you what to do, but they told you to stop doing. But were any of these women happy, Sugar P?
I don't think so. You know, I have friends like that, and they will also complain, oh, I don't have a boyfriend. And personally, I'm not aiming to be anyone's long-term girlfriend at my age. I think a lot of girls are also doing that, aiming to be somebody's girlfriend, and you're at an age where you should be aiming to be somebody's wife. And I also see a lot of women in long-term girlfriend situations wasting their time, and that's leading nowhere as well. And so you have that situation. Yeah, a lot of these women I don't think are really happy.
Well, there's another thing that hold on, DJ, and if I'll let you go to this one. The older you get, the quicker you should be saying yes. I mean, you don't need to be with somebody for 2 years to get married. 6 months or less. I mean, what the fuck? If you're 35 years old, talking about, oh, I wouldn't get married in under 6 months. What do you need to be with them for 2 years? You should know enough to be able to, what you need to know about a person is their character, and get the baseline information and then commit. But see, what we don't want to do, DJ Neff, is they don't want to take that as being informed enough. And this is going to go into a show I do tomorrow about men not taking risks. We always are looking to minimize risk, thinking that there's a certain amount of information we need to get before we make a decision. And that's why we end up getting left behind, because we are not picking a course, we're dabbling. If you can know everything you need to know, run their credit report, run their background, if all that stuff you need to get, you can get that in under a week. You can find out all that paperwork in under 2 weeks. You can find out what you need to find out about this person and decide, you know what, I'm going to take Sugar P and we're going to do this and just see how it turns out. But that means that if I married her or if she married me, that means I'm saying no more to the dating market. And people honestly feel like that there's a better possibility out there. But what would happen if me and Sugar P were to be married 2 years from now? We'd be talking about a new little P or whatever. You got shit to be talking about. And you motherfuckers would still be talking about, I'm going to a new restaurant or this and that. Look up 5 years from now, and there's a third P and a house and a business. And you looking at, you could see the difference. Who's building and who's actually have something. So when this pandemic shit happened, you'd have me, P, and a couple of kids in the house hunkering down together, where your ass is out here trying to figure out who can Uber Eats can bring you something to eat because you buy your goddamn self.
Hey, this is getting personal now.
And this is a scary time to be alone. I really feel that way, and you can see that. Like, this is a scary, and who knows how long this will go on. And people are not used to being alone either. So I mean, and being in solitude, that's unfortunate.
So if I could ask real quickly, 2 questions I just thought about. The first one, with considering Sugar P's age, like, I guess when did she come to that, or how did she come to that consensus? Like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't working. I don't want to be like them. Would be the first question. And then, damn, what was the second question, man? I was talking to one of my homeboys the other day, and we was talking about the match. Oh, why is it, I guess, easier for men, I'm not going to just say specifically Black men, but for a man to have that type of laser-like focus when it comes to career and accomplishments, but he doesn't have that level of discernment when it comes to dating and relationships, if that makes sense. When it comes to picking and choosing the mates, based off of what you just said, Kev.
Well, I'll answer the second person, but go ahead, Sugar P.
What made me come to that conclusion? Okay, so for
Like
those that
early in the
don't
game.
know, I kind of got in like this. I'm Sugar P for a reason, so I kind of got like into the sugar baby game, and it didn't last that long. While I was in DC, because I was like, okay, I'm getting a little older now, and I was tired of the game, I guess. But that's kind of how I got into it, and just exploring DC, getting accustomed to a new lifestyle, being able to put myself in certain situations and places to elevate my life and culture, and seeing different lifestyles. I think that's basically how it started. Also seeing how, like, feminism, like Kevin said, there are some good things that have come out of it, but there are also things that don't really help women. They're just not realistic for the times we live in. If we want to be real, it's not realistic, and it doesn't help us. It doesn't further us. And even, I think a lot of us might follow white women who are feminists, and they're doing the complete opposite. They might tell us, oh, black women, they might support us in that movement, but they're doing the complete
They damn sure
opposite.
voted for Trump.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, that's how I kind of saw it, as I got older. And I've been in relationships before. I had a guy that wanted to get married. Now, I don't think that would have worked out, because he was not much, I don't know how to describe it, but I just got to a point where I did want to settle down. There was a point where I didn't want to get married. I didn't want to do any of that. I was I was really doing a lot of grassroots activism in the NAACP in the South, traveling a lot, doing feminist work. And then I got in the real world, and it's like, okay, this is all a lie. So that's kind of how I came to the conclusion, and I got into these spaces. I don't remember how I remember how I got in touch with Kevin. It was on the Cole show. It was about sugar babies, and that's how I found out about him.
let me go ahead and DJ Neff. Let me tell you how the question basically is, how do men decide to have a laser-like focus versus, and while women decide not to? Is that really
No,
what
no, no, no. It was based on like when it comes to like our career and things that we want to accomplish, we can have that laser like focus. But when it comes to dating and relationships, it's kind of like, yeah, you know.
Here's the reason. One, raised by your mama, just like me.
Oh,
Raised by your mama. So structure, consistency, and discipline. See, working, we got to do that. And working is what men are. We are hardwired to work.
Okay.
We're not really our software for relationships is not male, it's female.
Gotcha.
See, our software for working is male, but even when we go to work, sometimes we act female in jobs. That's why we don't tend to move up into leadership, because we're female. I talk about my failures as an entry-level manager all the time because I was a blue pill beta male bitch. I was a straight bitch, and I had to go back and I had to get up under a man, become his number two, go through a complete code rewrite, and then come out as the new RoboCop. And then I was a completely different manager, a leader, because then I had the male software with the male work ethic. But here's another reason why we don't have the laser-like focus in relationship. We don't understand how to use marriage and relationships to build power. It's about upping your numbers and scratching an itch, not saying, you know what, that chick over there is a 7, but that chick over there is a 5 or 5.5, but she comes from a good family, but she's a plain Jane, but her father is a partner at a law firm. I'm going to marry her and marry into that system, and I'm gonna get with those men as that woman. We don't do that. We just look and say, well, damn, I'd rather have the girl who's over on fries than the plain Jane 5 with the father who has the country club membership and all that other shit. And see, we don't realize that non-Black men make the same calculus, and they marry the 5, and the 5 realizes that she gets a husband who's actually really dealing with the men in her family. And if he decides to have a mistress or a woman on the side, his whole thing is you don't embarrass her, you don't embarrass the family, you keep your shit on the side, no outside babies, because you aren't just embarrassing your plain Jane wife, you're also embarrassing her husband, the law firm, and everything else. See what I mean? We're out here in just individual shit. And this is why I am 100% down with sugar babies and all other kind of shit, because they're going into it understanding what's up. You're a man, you got resources and means, I got this, and this. Let's make a deal.
Right.
Knock it out. As long as you know what the fuck you're getting up front, and I'm gonna tell you another thing. I know white women who have gone from stripping, escorts, hoeing, or sugar babies to being straight up suburban housewives, driving around in a Range Rover with a ring so big their hand is like this. It's not an after-hour show, but I'll tell the story again one day about a woman I know personally who married a guy who was loaded, and she was a big-time escort, and the dude knew it. But they made a deal. And she know what she did? She played her wifely role well. And once she decided to cross, she never looked back at that life. She never decided to go back and scratch that old itch, because she had too much to lose. See, you guys in the DMV, you guys are around a lot of political power.
Yes, you could feel it too.
But how do those political people move? How many middle managers, upper management, how many executives do you see who are single? A single unmarried male is looked at as a threat to those other guys. They don't want you around their wives.
Okay.
That's why they don't promote you guys. That's why single men don't get promoted. Like it or not, I did an entire show about this. And in the red pill sector, guys are like, oh man, that's messed up. I'm like, well, it's the difference between being an individual worker and trying to go up and build something. So yeah, that's why. Yeah, I remember how we met now, P. Okay, let me go. Let me answer this question. Sugar babies are whores as well. They just feel better about calling sugar baby. Let me tell you something, J.I. Oftentimes you guys feel good about calling women out and trying to insult them. What does it do calling them a whore? You're a whore too. If that's the case, you go to work and somebody pays you to perform a service. See, a lot of you guys get off on your fucking high horse trying to wave your finger at women, and honestly, you're pissed because, I mean, anyway, check that shit, man. Check that shit. Over here, we're grown goddamn men having a conversation. If you can't, if that's gonna be your one warning. If you're gonna be talking that crazy this time, I'm gonna block you off my channel. Because that's, I don't know what your problem is, but you can't have it over here. Because let me also talk about this. I made a video on my channel talking about how to crush the holiday party. And I told guys, go to the holiday party. The worst thing you can do is go alone. You better call your friend and have her say yes. And the worst, go in and hire a high-end escort and take her to the party. Dudes thought I was crazy until I had some guys come in and say, you know what? I've done that before because I did it. And I told a story about how I was in the executive washroom and the VP of marketing was saying, you know, hey, I know Diana, she's a great woman. Next thing you know, I started getting assignments and accounts and things I normally never got. And I had, about a month later, I had someone, this guy wants you to come up to his office and for a quick 15-minute meeting. This is a VP of marketing and I'm a rep. But just because I hired this woman who was his regular, turns out he had started looking at my background, looking at me. He had people around the office watching me. But he was curious as to know is why my guy up here, but I got this guy down here hiring this woman to come to this executive function. That guy became my fast track at this company. I skipped so many levels and got so many benefits by having an inside person, and we were tied together by a whore.
Hey, I don't want to, like you said, this ain't an after hours stream, but we really could have used you on the stream the other night. We were kind of dabbling on the underworld a little bit, and I just leave it like that. But yeah. Well, especially out here.
Hold on. Go ahead, Neff.
No. I was just saying, especially out here, like you learn. I've been invited to some parties at some mansions and stuff, and it's just a different way to connect, I guess. And there's certain things that,
man, if in DC, in DC, the escort business will be one of the best ways to network with men of power.
Right.
I mean, I did it in Dallas. I mean, I probably need to.
So
to do the show at a different time.
Right.
To understand something. Concubines were back in the day were a respected position. Women would try, they're like, well, you know what? Would you rather be a concubine to Kublai Khan? Would you rather be a concubine in the court, or would you rather be out there in the rice fields? Powerful men are always surrounded by beautiful women. Why? Beautiful women manage their ego and emotions. Yeah. We are their competition. So let's say you and I went into one of these smoke-filled rooms. They'd see two black men coming in onto K Street with lobbyists and stuff. They'd be looking at us like, all right, what's this guy's angle? Who are they? Are they opposition research? Are they this, they that? But let's say both of us walk in with, when I say well-known escorts, I don't mean they're known in the public, but I mean the people who know. And you walk in with Brenda of DC, and I walk in with Carrie of Georgetown. They're like, well, those two guys are walking in with two people that we know that in order to be with these women, you have to have a certain amount of money because they do a certain amount of screening and background checks. So they have been vetted. So you know what, DJ Neff, all of a sudden we would be looked at as being in the club.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And they would be coming, hey, hi, my name is Brad. Hey, my name is David, the one to meet you. And next thing you know, you don't even know these people. They're like, yeah, but you've been vetted.
Right.
Because these guys are no smarter than we are. They're no better than we are. They just have opportunities that we don't have. This is why you see CEOs. They're not 1,000 times smarter than the lowest worker. Anyway, I don't want to get too far.
I know, man. I'm a government contractor out here now. After I got the service, that's what I've been doing. And I stayed here because I'm in the middle between my family up north and a little bit south. But that's the same thing I see. A lot of the people that are in charge, they're not necessarily smarter, but they're connected. They know different people, and they've been vetted.
Well, let me tell you something else. When I talk about taking a risk, what does it tell you about a man who is a major account manager, basically a senior level sales rep, who will come to a company Christmas party with hundreds of people, and he had to pay an escort $750 to attend the event with him. What does that tell you about this man's level of risk? What is he willing to do? He's willing to do whatever it takes. He's willing to actually, he's not just going to try to go in and go this way. There's no way in hell I would have been able to even talk to the VP of marketing, much less have a meeting with him. I wouldn't even been noticed. Right. Men respect men who are willing to put themselves out there, to assert, to confidently assert, to play in the gray areas. Powerful men understand they are pragmatic, ruthless, and amoral. You don't, well, I wouldn't hire that woman. That's an escort. She's a whore and this and that. Man, fuck that. She is gorgeous and she is going to get me attention. And once I get the shot, can I do anything with the shot? Now, let's imagine that chance meeting had never happened. Right. That person had just saw me and they had looked around and he had invited me up to talk to him. If I could not comport myself in a way that would make him want to take a risk on me or pull me into a circle, it would have just been a meeting. And therein lies the difference. What can you do when you wedge yourself in the door? What can you do when you get your shot, your one at bat? That's why I'm telling these ladies, say yes. Say yes to give yourself an opportunity to put yourself on. That's all saying yes does. It gives you an opportunity. And Jesus is their husband is going to be the next stream Sugar P.
So it's to your point. They always think that another opportunity is coming. I think that's what it is. They always like, well, I can skip this one because I know it's gonna. They slide in my DMs.
A lot of young people, especially my generation and younger, I think they're obsessed with like the grass is greener, especially with these the dating culture. I don't know what it is these days is, and yeah, there'll always be somebody better. But that doesn't mean that they don't have the level of investment that person has.
What makes them better, though, I guess is the question.
Different.
Yeah.
They're different because, I mean, as somebody, I've never been with a woman I would consider not to be an 8 or better. But there's always going to be somebody better looking, better something. It's always, and conversely, the same thing. But in the scenario I just gave down with Sugar P, you gotta weigh always changing your partner or changing your situation. You're starting and stopping versus staying in one place and building something. And see, that's one thing that I don't think that when we're single individuals, we value our freedom. We value our ability to choose, but we don't want to decide. Because once we decide, we feel like we have no options. Why? Because what is relationship? What is marriage to a lot of people? The death of freedom. But what else is it when on the other side? That's never been discussed or glamorized. So what I ultimately say to ladies is you're going to have to make a choice. Men, you're going to have to make a choice because what we're seeing right now is all these options. What are they worth right now when you're sheltering in place by yourself?
Right.
Not a whole lot.
I have a question, Kevin. I'm sorry.
No, just real quick. So is this choice, is it logical or is it an emotional choice?
Well, which?
As far as, making your selection and settling down, like, do you think it needs to be a logically based choice?
Yes.
Or is it?
Yes. Yes. Okay. I grew up with female software. And that's why I chose my ex-wives emotionally. And they were poor choices.
Got you. That's where we
I said after my divorce, I was like, the next time, if I will make a decision completely different. And one of the first things I said, she has to, bottom line, sounds crazy now. She has to just be nice.
That's where I'm at.
I mean, she's got to be nice to me to begin with. So I'm like, God damn, that's how far off I was. And see, what do you get when you make an emotional decision? You get a chaotic outcome. What do you get when you make a logical decision? You get a more stable outcome. What's up, Sugar P? You had a question.
So my question is for women that are dating, and let's say they run into men that can't make a decision. How do you think the woman should deal with that?
If you're with a man who can't make a decision, leave that man.
Yo, what if he's 22 years old? Like, you can't be expected.
Okay, I'll answer the question. I'll answer that question. I don't think you should be getting with I don't think you should be getting get a woman till at least you're 30.
Oh, okay.
22 is not 22. We're not in an agrarian age where we could be farmers and shit. In 22, you didn't need to learn anything. Like it or not, in order to make a man, modern man, you need to. You talk to any man over 40, and he'll tell you 40 is where it really starts. You're creeping in on it.
Yeah. I feel
So
it.
women should be dating
You need to be dating
30 and up. All women, depending on their age.
If
I
I
No
was
men in
talking,
their 20s.
if I was talking to a man, I would say you start thinking about a relationship at 30. I would say between 30 and 35, depending on the maturity of the man. I would tell average guy to be closer to 35. And you need to be looking at women from the age of 21 to 24. So there needs to be a 10-year gap, in my opinion. So here's the thing. So what am I telling guys between 21 and 30? What they're hearing is basically, well, I can't have no woman. No, because you're putting in 60, 70, 80 hours a week. You're trying to find yourself, get on your purpose, build yourself. And the net of it is your outcomes. Honestly, DJ Neff, you weren't going to get married or pick a woman before that anyway. Now you just see the beauty of making a choice. It's like an image consultant. One of the things I do with a person is I tell them what of the 9 style personalities, which one resonates with them the most. The beauty in that is they know when they're going to get a pair of boots or a suit or this or that, they know what works for them. That means they don't even have to look at the rest of them. It simplifies the world so much to where you can focus. You know, as a man, when you are focused, you are productive. But when you got a ton of options, you are overwhelmed.
That's true.
That is the ability. If you tell a guy between 21 and 30, brother, you're going to have to focus. You're going to have to eat it. You're going to have to work 60 to 80 hours, whether you're in your career or not, whatever. You got to find yourself, your purpose, stack some sources and resources. But at 30, you can start looking to vet, but now you got something to protect. Now you got something to offer. Now you got you can pick a different kind of woman because you got something that women typically want, not just your looks and this and that. You got something, and you're going to make a different choice based upon your hard work. You're going to protect it more because you're going to make a better decision because like, well, it took me a long time to get this. I'm not going to be as risky with that.
Right.
So yeah, so that's what I would tell the average guy. So I don't put that much pressure on a 22-year-old guy other than tell him you're far too young to be thinking about marriage.
Gotcha. That's fair.
I mean, personally, that's my opinion.
22, that's way too young.
Well, I mean,
for a guy.
I mean, you listen to many of the dating coaches and relationship people who do this for a living. I mean, Tom Likas was well known at telling guys, you're too young for that. But I remember. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was saying because even when I got back, I think I started dating someone my age that I had a history with, and I'm just like, this ain't where it's at. But because I had history, I revisited it. But I'm just like you said.
Well, it is. Think about it, DJ Neff. You're in your late 30s. It is far easier for you to sit down with a 25-year-old female and her put you in, and you actually be able to guide her, lead. You're automatically in the position where she doesn't look at you as a peer.
I'm glad you brought that up. That was gonna be my next thing. I didn't want to just jump off as far as like that distance, because I have looked at that. Like, okay, but that intellectual, like I like to have conversations and I'm not saying that you can't, but everybody's not going to be a Brittany where she's mature.
She's not supposed to be, bro.
She's not going to be on the phone every 5 minutes when we out at what I'm saying, a Roof Chris or Fago or something,
Yeah,
you want to have deep philosophical conversations and building. That's what your boys are for. That's not what your woman's for. You doesn't have to be an airhead. Yeah. Bro. Let a cat be a cat and let a dog be a dog. You don't try to walk a cat.
Right.
That woman, she needs to be on your program and your plan. See, we're trying to make, and again, we're trying to make her my mama because mama was able to do everything. And the thing is, my mother was strong, independent, Afro out, feminist, liberated, and she married the most diametrically opposed country Bama, but that man was solid, rock of the earth, and for the last 25 years she has been happier than I ever seen her in my entire life. I never would have imagined my mother would have picked the guy she did, but she picked the man based upon the character. And they are completely opposite. But I am not worried the least bit about my mother during this time because she is in a house in a nice neighborhood. I know the man.
Yeah.
My mother is taken care of. God couldn't have gave my mother a better. And every time she complains about him, I tell her, divorce him then. She ain't gonna do that. Because she knows she made a good decision.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you want to be able to talk to your woman. Yeah. But about what?
That's fair.
About your plans? You need to be informing your woman. You need to be able to discuss it. She should be a good counselor. Honestly, I think a qual, let's say a sugar pea. A sugar pea with me would be something like, here are the plans. And then we go into the networking room and sugar pea would go work the room. And
Right.
she would actually work the room and help me with men who normally would look at me as competition and look at me differently and say, you know what? Any man who could pick a woman like that's a man I need to work with.
Facts.
That's where you let her do her thing where she's good. You don't sit here and say, well, what kind of piping are we going to lay on this job? What kind of bricks? Or what are going to, that ain't her job. Her job is the social shit. Your job is the planning shit.
In 35 years making 90K NGA, my girlfriend is 26 years. She's having my first child.
There you go. So, I mean, it's kind of like any good scenario. See, one of the things that made difference for me is I stopped shirking the responsibility of being a man, the masculine burden of performance. When I firmly put that on myself and said, even in my marriages that failed, ultimately the burden of performance was on me. I got soft and weak in places I shouldn't have. And I did not know. I did not know there were none of these spaces, but but after doing that, I was like, okay, I realized that I shouldn't. Okay, all right. I'll never take my eye off the ball again. I'm going to continue to run. See, the thing is, DJ, if you're running, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. As men, if we're doing and building what we're supposed to be doing and working what we're supposed to be doing, the women will come along and get in their spot and nest, and they'll do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
And we let them nest over there, and we go over here and kill the mastodon or the deer or whatever the fuck. And then when we sit around and do what we do, when we sit around and talk to our women, we talk to women. But most of the time you're spending with the men.
Yeah.
Men and women used to split up and go into different rooms after meals. The men would go into by the fire and smoke a cigar and drink beer or scotch or bourbon or whatever. And the women would go in the kitchen or whatever and do what they do. I ain't trying to make my woman be my homie. That ain't her job.
Right. Hey, so and that goes to something you had said earlier. The reason why, well, a question I had brought up earlier in regards to being able to make those decisions, because like you said, they definitely nesting, they be flocking around even before this. But like that decision is so important. And you know, I have a 16-year-old son, right? Like I said, I was in the military. I was never married, but that happened early on, right, in my career. And then I have a lot of brothers that have retired from the military. They also have children. So part of that, there's a reservation there too. Like I don't want to put myself in a position to where now I have even more assets and more things to lose if I make a bad decision, you know. And this kind of ties into the whole conversation with the manosphere, how you could lose certain things. Not saying that, you know, family.
Okay, so okay. So name me the millionaires or billionaires who got far more than we ever do, and they still get married. Where's Jeff Bezos now? He's gonna get remarried. They get remarried, and they got more. The question is picking well.
Right. That's the whole thing.
And the picking well. So there are lots of different methods, but I'll ask you this: who's helping you vet besides yourself? Do you have any men that you have respect for? Do you have your gauntlet? I got 5 people around me that I trust their judgment enough to substitute their judgment for my own. Let me say that again. I got 5 men around me that I trust and respect enough to substitute their judgment for mine. It took me a long time to get to a place to where I can say that. But if you don't have somebody who can actually pull you back and say, nah, bro, this is how I see it. Right. And if they can tell you, and if you choose not to operate on it, do you have anybody that you respect enough that you say, if he sees something that I don't see, I'm going to just decide on it. That's hard for a lot of us. Again, we was raised by mama.
Yeah.
But if you have people,
is fat though. I said they'll tell you if that ass is fat though.
But see, the thing is, if you have men around you who can look at the woman you're talking about, and if they comes back with a consensus that she's a good pick, because those guys aren't sleeping with her.
Right.
They're going to look at her in different ways. They're going to look at her character, her background. Who are the guys around you? Because our best thinking is what gets us in our situations. This is why I'm so big on coaches and consultants and people around you, because we cannot be professionals at everything. Your emotions are going to be attached to this woman. Her yoni is going to done what, especially if you're sexually involved with her, you're going to be biased. And lastly, what are the expectations? You're only going to get about 80% out of anybody. Nobody has to be perfect. Does this woman have the character to be able to handle everything that you've built? And is she going to have enough respect for you to make a decision that's based for you and the family and not her? These things, that goes to her character. See, this is what churches and religions and all that other stuff used to do for us. They used to give us things that were where the individual wasn't at the height. So give you a case in point. If you find a woman and she's not coming from a nuclear family, she has no real religion or anything, if there's nothing that she's really submitting to, how's she gonna submit to you?
That's facts. Oh, that's deep. Yeah.
And therein lies the problem. And if it comes back that she's not, or if she's playing Christian like somebody used to teach at singles ministry, got a lot of women who are in church who really aren't following it. You see how they move. And let me tell you, last thing, I did a video, a question, a show one time, and I asked, what are you willing to give up? Give up. I said, what are you willing to give up to get what you want, ladies? And here's the things I asked, DJ Neff. Yeah. Are you willing to move far away from your friends and family and everything else? Are you willing to move with your husband to where it's just you and him geographically? Are you willing to give up all your male friends and all that stuff? Cut all that stuff off because y'all got to build a life together. Are you willing to drop all your social media? Unless you are in a position or running a social media marketing firm, why you need Facebook and all those other things? Are you willing to change religions? Are you willing to go from Christianity to Islam? Because she has to follow your religion. But are you willing to give, if you have children, are you willing to let him discipline your children like his biological children? Because he's going to be responsible for them no matter what. Are you willing to actually send your children to be with their father? Especially the boys after age 7, because he is their parent. And this is when it starts to get real tight. And then money. Are you willing to, if you are working, are you willing to make sure that all the money goes into an account? Your check goes into an account with just his name on it. You are an emergency contact, but you don't have any check writing authority. He's managing the money completely. And that that money thing stopped a lot of women.
Of course it did.
Well, and I've had this conversation here locally. I had women here locally say they would not give a $20,000 purse over to their husband or their boyfriend or whatever, but they would marry a man, they would have his babies or whatever, but you can't have that purse. I'm like, why? Because it's expensive. And see, money tends to tell where people's hearts are. Right. And if you are dealing with a woman who actually, if you're dealing with a person, I want to just put it, but we're talking about women. If you're dealing with a woman who openly says you cannot have complete financial control, that means there's a fear there. If he has all of it, then I'm vulnerable. Then why are you gonna make a baby with this person? Because you can have the power over her life and death. You could pull the plug on her. She's involved in a car accident. They could say, Mr. Neff, well, do you want us to take life support away? You'd have those powers. So you can have that, but you can't have the money. That don't make no goddamn sense, now does it?
No, not at all.
All right, guys, I got to get up off here. I got to eat something. But I think this is a good show. Thank you, Sugar P, for the quote of the night.
Thank you.
Jesus is their husband. Lord have mercy. Jesus is their husband. Sugar P came through swinging to the fences. Ladies, at the end of the day, understand something. Say yes. Say yes, because ultimately you're not saying yes to the men. You're saying yes to your life. You're saying yes to opportunity. You're saying yes to so many things. And saying no has got you where you are. Logic would say saying yes can actually help you be in a better place. All right. Peace out, folks. Appreciate it. I don't know who's having a panel, who's having a show. I got some videos I'm going to be dropping, but I got to eat right now. Thanks, Sugar P. Thanks, Hot Lips.
Thank you.
Hot Lips, see you. Thanks, DJ Neff, for showing
Appreciate
up.
You for having
Next
me,
Wednesday, Women's Wednesday. Ladies, come on, chop it up, talk to each other. Let's see what we can get done. Peace out.